Sunday, the 22nd of November 2015. This is a chart update for Regis Resources. Regis is one that I've been talking about all year, and when this run started, I had the target at 220, which was this breakdown that occurred at the start of last year, and then it tested at the start of 2015 as well, and then had more operational issues. But it came back and it tested this 220 level perfectly and bounced down off it. What's been good about Regis, I think, is the buying strength though on this down move. So it's really, I don't use Fibonacci retracements often, but it's a good way of demonstrating the strength in the stock. I mean, if it stays above this generally if it stays above this 38% retracement level, it's a sign of strength. And you can see that Regis has sort of come back and tested that around that zone and bounced off this 200-day moving average. And I mean, this is a pretty unique chart among all the gold stocks in the last 3 or 4 months. Northern Star, Revolution Mining all have come back a little bit further than this from their recent highs. I think Regis, there hasn't been as much interest in Regis over the last year and a half with all these operational issues. But these guys, this is a quality stock for a long time, and I think that's what a lot of the market forgot. They produced at cost less than $1,000 all in sustaining costs for the last quarter, and paid a $25 million dividend, 6 cents a share for the half year, for only a half year dividend to their shareholders a couple of months ago. So, I'm expecting at least another 4 cents in the second half of this year as well. So, they're trading with 10 cents a dividend on a $2.10. So it's almost 5% plus franking credits as well for Regis, which is unheard of among other gold stocks. And I think it's a clever ploy by management to get people interested in this stock as a yield player, really. And I think it's got unmatched yield, and it's got probably one of the best growth outlooks in the last. They've really conveyed this message of growth at some of their existing operations with using satellite deposits that they've acquired cheaply and have been exploring on. So I think there's at least 2 or 3 resource statements due in this quarter. So if they can prove up, some decent grades in those satellite deposits, it's really going to extend their mine lives and potentially dramatically increase production at a couple of the operations. If they're only a very low grade ounces they have, so some of those satellite deposits are up around 1.5 grams a ton, and I think that could really help the grade and boost the production. They've still got the McPhillamys deposit as well in New South Wales, and they've been working on that behind the scenes too. So I think some news is coming out as well, probably this quarter. But a little bit of gyration here, but it does remind me a little bit of this action here that occurred at the start of this year. But I don't see any of these operational problems lurking in the same way as it did then. You also had a director selling up around 210, I think 215 at the start of this year, which is not a good sign. And of course, he was a few weeks before it went over the edge. He bought back in, I can't remember when, but somewhere around $1.50, I think he bought back a lot of the stock that he sold. So, some of these guys, you really want to follow it, especially a guy like that. I think he holds 20 million shares, so he's pretty cluey on this stock. But yeah, they're probably my best gold pick at the moment, just because the cash being generated is immense. Got minimal debt, a good growth outlook, and I think if the share price starts running further, I expect them to turn into an acquirer of other gold stocks as well, given the management pedigree, and they just know how to run a gold mine cheaply. They had these short-term issues, but when these short-term issues arise in quality companies, that's when you have to buy up the stock, and that was what this period here was between March and July, and I think that was that opportunity was amazing. So I hope a few people got stock there when I was talking about it. So I'm looking at a next move up potentially toward 260 to 280, and potentially the catalyst for that could be these resource statements, because that has some good strength in increasing the mine lives as well. So that should increase the valuation. But yeah, I really like Regis at the moment among the bigger gold stocks on the ASX.